Okay, they're done. This should be day 34 of tanning beaver tails using tea, but day 34 and 35 were actually Thanksgiving and Black Friday, and I was busy, so I haven't touched these in 2 days. So in reality, it's day 36. But I am ready for these to be finished. Last time I checked them, they looked good, and I did do a little sample last time I checked them, so I'll show that. There we go. This was the sample piece. And that was off of this one. So this fit there. You can see how much this piece shrunk. It definitely shrinks a lot when it dries. I should measure this, and then we'll be able to tell how much it shrinks. But you can see how nice this turned out. It's a nice, flexible leather. Really nice sheen to it, just kind of a gentle, polished look. So currently this is just shy of 11 by 5.5 at the widest and longest. And this one is 10.5 by 5.5. So the one that I trimmed the end off of for the test was 11 by 5.5, and the one that was not trimmed off was 10.5 by 5.5. Okay, so I can dump out this tea because we're done with it. And next I'm going to rinse and then wash these to get any residual tannins off that aren't absorbed, and to remove any solids that the tea left behind or any like mold or whatever that's on there. I'm not sure about chrome tanning, but other types of tanning, alum tanning, I don't know how you say it, can't be washed with soap, or you'll like wash the tan out of the hide. Veg tanning, using vegetable tannins to tan the leather, they're chemically bound to the protein structure of the hide now, so they can't be washed out. So that's why you can wash a saddle with saddle soap or a good pair of boots with saddle soap, but you can't wash like generally a fur tanned hide with saddle soap. So just gonna do a little scrub just with some unscented dish soap. You could use saddle soap if you had it, but dish soap is fine too. It's just getting a gentle scrub, but I do want to try and get everything out of those little crevices in there, all the scales between the tails, or all the areas between the scales. I'm gonna give it one more quick wash. Yeah, that one feels good. Okay, I'm gonna dry these one last time. Well, I might as well check and see what this cross section looks like. Yeah, looking really good. Yeah, so pick one to finish first, and the other one I'm going to put it in a plastic bag and put it in the fridge. You could leave the one you're not working on in the tea, but I was ready to dump that and put put that bin in the dishwasher. So this one's gonna go in the fridge. And then the other one is going to get a nice little coat of food safe oil and a leather conditioner. I have used both of these on various leathers. This one I like better because it smells better. This one has almost like a little bit of a vinegar smell to it, which I don't love, but it does dissipate eventually. You can use just oil and no leather conditioner, but the leather conditioner gives it a much softer feel. Leather conditioners act as emollients, which helps oil bind to liquid, or helps oil bind to water, similar to how like an egg would work as a binding agent when we were making a salad dressing. It'll help the liquid or the water and the oil components combine rather than stay separated. Similar to how conditioner, if you use hair conditioner on your hair, it makes it feel much better than if you just put oil on it. It helps the oil kind of absorb into the fibers more. You can also use egg yolk with oil, kind of like you would in a salad dressing. If you want to do that, it'll act the same way as an emollient to help soften up the leather. But the thought of doing that with raw egg yolks and then handling it for a couple hours just sounds pretty gross. So you do you if that's what you want to do. I'm going to put oil on here first. And you do need to do this while the tail is wet. If you wait until the tail is dry, it won't work. It needs to be moist and pliable when you're applying the oil and the leather conditioner. If you wait until the leather dries out, it's more likely to crack. But if it gets too dry and it's not workable anymore, you can just get it wet again with some water and kind of start over on the conditioning and breaking process. So there's the oil. It's already looking really pretty. And then basically do the same thing with the leather conditioner, both sides. And then the whole time this is drying, you're gonna break the leather. So roll it against itself in all directions. You can let it sit every couple of minutes and then pick it up and work on it again. And as it dries, it'll absorb the oil and the leather conditioner into the fibers. And as it's drying, we're keeping those fibers moving so that they stay loose. So that once the leather is fully dry, the fibers have kind of space to move against each other and they're flexible. If we let this dry without breaking it or working it as it's drying, the fibers will dry locked together and stiff, and then when you go to fold the leather, they'll break apart. So that's why we need to break the leather or work it while it's drying. And if you stop breaking the leather before it's all the way dry, you'll have a stiffer end product than if you work it the whole time. Okay, so I'm gonna go sit on the couch and watch a show and break this. And I'm gonna add a little more oil and a little more leather conditioner whenever it feels like it needs it. they're done. So this was the thicker side of the two tails, and it's definitely a little bit more stiff compared to the thinner side, but it still is nice and pliable. Very pretty leather, very pretty color. It smells like tea and leather conditioner. This is the thinner side. Definitely more pliable. I think next time I do a tail, I'll try and thin down the thicker side so that it's a better match for the thin side. And then let's see how much they shrunk. So this is, wow, 9.5 by 4 3/4. That's the thicker side. This is the thinner side, is also 9.5 by, yeah, about 4 3/4 also. Not sure if it shows up on camera, but this one came out a little bit darker. I think that's just because I put more oil on it. The oil will darken it up. These are the two that I did over the summer. And in comparison, these are a little bit lighter in color, but I think that's just because these have had more time for the oil to kind of absorb and distribute throughout the tails. So they're not as dark because they just have less oil in them. So there you go. That's how I tan beaver tails. I definitely learned a lot from doing it the second time around and recorded my process, so now it's repeatable, and got a lot of good advice and suggestions and things to try from the comments. So I'll work on compiling that into one video to put up on YouTube.